with the announcement, I called Barrick, let him know he's at the top of my stack for chief of police.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
And I saw that you have put yourself on the government website. Very nicely put.
This is a counter to the response by that LSPD officer.
Oh,
So,
let me look at that real quick.
Oh, it wasn't on Twitter. It was a question. So during the Q&A, we had an officer who's like, well, we were planning for 15 minutes in Mission Row while it was getting, and I was like, I got a fucking videotape. You were in there for a fucking hour. So by glazing up Barrick, trickle down effect.
Oh shit! The whole platform on the West website. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, the timing was very nicely because Judge Angel was there at the rally. She made the announcement of.
Are you available later today?
Candidacy right after that officer made those comments.
Yeah, that was interesting, but I think attacking it front on was important. The biggest thing that I come to that I want to maintain is that I'm never gonna allow politics. I don't want my answers to ever be too politically motivated, and what I mean by that is telling people what they want to hear to get their vote. I think it's like a recipe for disaster.
Honestly, I feel like having a little bit of contention during that gave more authenticity to the campaign anyway.
True.
So.
Yep, agreed.
Game plan moving forward.
If I could, before you kick off, Nino, do you mind?
Yeah, please.
So you mentioned on the planning side that the things are dog shit, and admittedly they are. I don't disagree. One of the biggest challenges for me, as I'm sure you're aware, is that on the design side, the promotion side, it keeps me out of city quite a bit. So having me in any type of lead role, especially with my lack of knowledge of the people in the city, the venues, and so on, it doesn't make sense.
Agreed.
So I think the need for a point person is definitive.
I 1000% agree. I think so. I think the rally we had at 1 p.m. was good. However, as you saw with the communication, shit was kind of all over the place. Like, are we getting food? Are we not getting food? Is it going to be over here? And I don't want that to drain y'all, right? Instead, anytime we have any kind of like event, right? I think in order for that event to take place, there should be one owner of it. So like, for example, if Archie, we want to do one at 6 o'clock and we say it's Archie, then he makes all the decisions, right? So it all goes through him so that we don't end up in that same sort of, problem. And if, like, let's say we want to do another one Wednesday and Eve's like, hey, let's do one Polito. We can be like, Eve's going to drive it. She makes all the calls. That way, not only do you feel the ownership, but like whatever that person's vision is for it can be seen all the way through. And
but I also don't think it should be like just like if there's people around, also feel welcome to, delegate help. You know, like if Archie's around, then Archie feel welcome to ask me to sort out all the food for that time, right?
Absolutely.
Like just so everything is not on you.
Absolutely, and I agree, and thank you for saying that. I will say, I guess I'll ask this now. How many of you are going to be around 6 p.m. today? Just want to get a feel right now.
Okay.
I should be.
I'm planning on it, yeah.
Okay.
It's a dice roll with me.
Abilene?
Yeah, 6, I'll be around.
Fantastic. As for Wednesday...
6:30 the latest, if that makes
sense. Wednesday, we should have the Lumber Co. event at their warehouse, hopefully. Think it'll be ready by then? That's when Wyatt mentioned. No.
We need to glaze.
We're going to have to head on that as well.
That's
but we should be
today?
good for
Sorry?
6 today.
Wednesday.
Oh,
Wednesday. That is perfect.
That's when Wyatt said that Diva will be finished with the top floor, so we can use that for the rest of the week.
And I think these rallies are the way to do it, because we're going to have different segments of folks that can then, spread the message. Like, we had a lot of new faces today. That was sick to see.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me to start making calls. I was able to get 10 people down who ordinarily wouldn't show up to an event like that.
Oh, that is beautiful.
And a lot of PD came too.
Yeah. Well, it was about an hour before I went down to MRPD, and I stopped every cop I saw and invited them personally down. So.
Oh wait.
I don't have the connections that you have, but I don't mind hitting the streets either.
And that's what we need. So please do. Thank you for doing that.
Wait.
I think I'll be
How do you
formally
spell
going
his
down the
name?
lemon list later as well.
Oh, Riker.
Probably doing kind of a more formal send out for it. So we'll get it more organized. But yeah, you're out on the government website. We're officially in the race. Nino, what is next?
Okay, so we've got the placards we're throwing up, but let's go retweet real quick while we're all here on. I've officially put my name in. Let's go retweet that real quick. I think one thing that's stood out more than anything is Twitter is good, but people don't read it. I think we would have had significantly more individuals at the event. And that speaks to, I think, given Nino.
Oh, hello, Mr. Chavez. I had a simple question for you.
Sure. You want to come down and what's your ping number?
Oh, my ping is 296.
296. I'll see you down here.
Might need to reset your phone.
All right. See you in a bit.
I also just had like a little hiccup.
Yeah, make sure that the retweet stuff doesn't add too many characters to it. That happened to me earlier.
I just want to, okay, just real quick to cover you were away.
Wait, just so I don't lose a thought. Twitter works only to like maybe hitting 10% of the populace. I think with everything seemingly getting expedited from what I can read, right? The election may be before the 17th. Because it's before the 17th, then I believe that we need to start like really getting out there and like everybody take personal note that you're gonna try to talk to 5 people right in the city to go to the website. 5's pretty simple, right? Anyone you see, just mentally note it. And I think that's a good way to kind of drive that interaction, because I think that's going to be the biggest thing for us, especially with us not knowing how the voting is going to be, right? Like, I don't even know how the fuck they're going to decide who votes for what county. Like, is everyone voting or what? And I doubt that's going to be the case. Let's chat with this guy real quick, and then we'll move on. Hey, come on forward. What's up, my man?
Oh, hello. I just had a simple question. Could you make driving and drinking legal?
Do you care about the lives of others? Like, I'm confused. You want to drink and drive?
No, not really. I'd rather enjoy some drinking while driving. It gets me faster to places.
What about taxis that have booze inside of it? You get in there, you could drink all you want and tell the guy where to go.
Well, are the prices like jacked up like in the clubs where you go to a bar and they sell beer for a lot higher price? Is it the taxi will have, very high price, or will it be just normal price?
Sure. Well, we can definitely consider that.
So I myself would not be allowed to drink and drive, but you're saying my driver would be.
I think a driver being able, like a taxi driver being able to give you alcohol, I think, is well within reason.
Well, what if we made it so that the driver can drink and drive, but the passenger can't, so it's like a win and win?
Do you have any other questions?
No.
All right.
Didn't you used to work at the DOC, Timo?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's we're actually trying to get that back up and operational and in the hands of the DOC.
Oh, well, I'm more concerned about the drinking and driving.
I'm not going to legalize drinking and driving.
Just no from me.
All right. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
You go fuck yourself. You
Yeah,
have
hey,
no idea.
I hope you get
have no
hit by
idea
a
what you're taking
drunken
away from the
driver.
people.
You piece of shit.
It's the freedom of people. You
It's
don't
not freedom of
understand.
people.
I guess it.
How is it freedom? But you don't have your thoughts for yourself. Because your fucking booze is fucking your mind up.
Yeah, that,
Anything he's saying now?
that was a spy from Team Fortress anyway. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, he.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
that's.
Mm, mm.
Isn't he a
I
terrorist?
don't,
Never mind.
I don't know.
Well, that was disingenuous. All right. Anyways.
Okay. Well, good meeting. There. It was,
Yeah.
that was very beneficial.
So to get back to actual business, Archie, you seem to know how to actually like format the signs that you can hang up around the city. You want to get together like campaign posters?
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the, email
I'll
list?
work on those and I'll put those in. Nino, we will all gather. We will all work towards those 5 people a day or whatever for the website. Absolutely. Things that you may have missed while you were gone. I hope you had a good trip. Welcome back, by the way.
I appreciate that.
I don't know. Let's see, where is it? All right. So, first thing I want to mention, and I don't know if he's still around. Maybe he is. We need to schedule a time for you to go on Paps Talk podcast this week.
I am down. What about today?
You did one this morning? as
Yeah.
far as I
Well,
know?
you
I
don't
talked
got to
to
do it
John
right now.
yesterday.
Like, set it up after the thing. You know, I don't want to keep
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
like
Well,
locked in.
he's around typically a few hours like you are right before last storm, and a
Mhm.
couple hours into this one, starting like now. You
So,
know what I mean?
so after this meeting, see if you can set it up. The sooner
I will.
Because the way I like to do things is, if we can do it, it's better to do it
Mhm.
sooner so that we don't end up, with a laundry list
Yeah.
of, here are the things that we'd like to do,
Absolutely.
I know Eve, Abby, and Kit, we want to try to get their, little placards up, that we can put on Twitter. So, like, the people know that they're, like, something businessy related with Eve, right? Something law related with Abby, something like maybe cop related with Kit, legal related with Kit, so people kind of see the grander message that we're trying to put and put like a face to it.
So Abilene's is done. She got me her quote. I wordsmithed it. We've got 3 of them for her.
Oh shit!
In the interest of time, Nino, I'm thinking, why don't I just draft ones for Eve and Kit? They can review them and make sure they're fine with the wording, and then it just saves time.
Easy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Make sure it's got the website in it and like a hashtag vote Nino. So when people search on the Twitter, it pops up pretty quickly.
I'm trying to come up with the endorsement list, but we really need to go over like clearly who it will be. Of course, aside from the campaign team. So we should discuss that probably a little later on.
Wait, say
and
that
talk to
again?
people. The endorsement list that
No.
extends outside of that.
Skip. That's I think there's so this kind of goes to something I was trying to bring up, and I'm going to explain why. I think we have to keep mind that, and I'd like Eve to speak to this too, because she's been involved in a lot of campaigns in the past, is that we cannot lose sight that we're in Los Santos and not in New York. So certain activities sound great, but when it comes to reality, it's effort that the people voting are going to have a little impact on the voters. The biggest thing that people will appreciate is one-on-one conversations with myself or people as a part of the team, because that is going to, in their mind, make them realize I should go to the poll and I should vote for Nino. And yes, he's not going to fuck the PD over. Yes, he's looking after the business people. Yes, he's looking after the criminals or the civilians that are getting unrightfully, targeted. That's, I think, that messaging on a personal levels between individuals and groups of people are the most powerful. Something like an endorsement sounds cool, has no impact.
We also shouldn't drown people with being in their face all the time because it could be overbearing, and that's when people start to dislike you as well.
Really good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the same idea with the signs they have of like bridge ices before road, and in some places they take them down when it's not cold enough, so that way when it is needed, people see them and it's different. Keeps the attention.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. And speaking of people, I have a few multiple civilian groups that will be scheduling to speak to you either today or the rest of the week. And I might notes here. If oh, Billy's around. Perfect. All right. She texts me to speak to her, and I call her, and she says 1 second. All right.
Okay.
Sounds like
I want to pull Eva's side because I know we were looking to talk.
Yes.
Other than that, is there anything we got to talk about in the group? Because I don't want to, you know, make sure we don't hold you guys hostage every day. You know.
Yeah. I'm briefly gonna bring up Nino. I will get the designs done for the 6 o'clock invitation. We can start getting those out on Twitter as soon as possible.
Okay.
I'll finish the placards so those can go out as soon as possible. And then whoever is taking point, I'm guessing Archie, you should be taking point on the Wednesday event at the Lumber Co.
Sure.
You let me know what you need on the design side. I will take care of it. And I think if you delegate out like AV to Archibald to get the microphones there and everything, that's great. But as long as we're running everything through you, I think that's good.
Sounds good. Absolutely. Nothing else really going on. I did speak with Osvaldo and a few people over the weekend that are supporting him, and he is, just to let you guys know, considering swapping over to Blaine.
I hope he does, because like
I just wanted to let you know.
Did you guys get the news that Andy might be running?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. See you soon. Bye bye.
Take it she's gonna run up north then, or
Yes.
okay.
Oh, and somebody from C4 told me that Sonia's considering an expungement to run for mayor as well.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I think
Should
any form of encouragement for Osvaldo going in the north. Like I'm gonna be selfish here. There's a good chance we win. I know that ultimately, and I want to drill this in, because no matter how good it looks, anybody can vote for him and be awake getting votes over and over and over. I would love for us to win, and I would love to have someone on the polar opposite that is going to be interesting.
That's going to be interesting and work with us, who we can, you know, just have a working relationship with and not be at odds with at all times.
Agreed. I personally would love to see Osvaldo or Cornwood in that position. Guys, I'm thinking about the next 3-6 months as opposed to, you know, a stunt with Osvaldo for a week is going to be cool. But if that poor man ends up losing and we end up with some boring vanilla mayor, the city's going to suffer in a different way.
Yeah.
I talked to Osvaldo, and he really wants to run for in the city. He thinks running up north is second best.
Yeah. I mean, shoot.
That's his mindset right now.
Yeah. That's understandable. The only person campaigning is like Eugene. We got a interesting card up our sleeve if needed. But
All right.
Oh, is it? What would that be?
well, I'll bring it up when the time is right.
Time
you know.
out. That's
Okay.
pretty good setup.
Yep. I do think we need to spend some ample time schmoozing.
Oh, Jesus
That's
Christ.
right. Fuck.
That looks good for us. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. I'm actually gonna retweet it.
Yeah, agreed.
I brought up at the DOC with Timo.
Fuck. Drunk drivers.
Judge Angel met with the people who are going to most likely be running the DOC, that being Scotty, and so that is kind of taken care of by them already. So you don't really have to worry about that. Lifers will be able to vote, I believe. So if you want, we can still go up there and have a meeting. Up to you. Yeah, it's being handled by the judges currently.
Can I
Yeah,
tell
but
the
even-
water that
even
his
the judges-
mother probably drank with him?
No,
Yeah.
do
Okay.
0, 0. Like we should
Alright,
not
sorry.
do any attacks. If people bring stuff up like that might be nasty, we're gonna take the high ground. Last thing we want is any one of us getting into like an ego battle with someone who doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember the audience that's witnessing the ego battle is gonna look at it, you know, a very different way, right?
Okay. All right. I will keep it PG.
Also, hey, Nino, what kind of response would you give? Because the biggest thing, at least while you were gone, with the opposition's argument with you, is that people are in people's pockets, government
Who cares?
planted,
It's
yada yada
Eugene.
yada yada. Yeah. But he's spreading that to certain groups of people that came
Who
to me
cares?
with it, and I'm like,
Well, who?
what are you talking about?
Who?
Some like former doctors. I'm speaking with like Tanner.
I don't
Suki
know.
and some people.
Yeah, but what does it mean? Where's Eugene getting this information from? Right.
Yeah. What proof does he have?
Oh, his ass.
Right. And so, what do you say? Like, ask him to produce the evidence, right? I mean, if someone goes around claiming that I was born in Uganda, right? Like, what do you just say? Where's the evidence?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So treat it the same way. I mean, literally, we've spoken. I mean, you know what I'm saying, Archie?
Absolutely.
So,
I've had my own counter arguments for it, but that is what I'm just letting
I'd
you know.
say-
That's their only argument against it. That is it.
yeah, I think
That's just what
you
I
know,
want to let you know, tackle.
I think when it comes to any like unfounded like bullshit, just ask for the evidence. I'd keep it simple, because I think if you end up driving down like the alternative route of like, well, you start like, it's kind of like that saying, right? If you let someone drag you into what? How does the argument go? The thing is like, if you drag someone down into some bullshit, like you're no better than them. Do you really want to be Eugene?
If you wrestle with the pigs,
Yeah.
don't be surprised when you get mud on you.
Yeah, that's the one. Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. So this is one thing I brought up with Abby, and I did put it on my platform. I did a lot of thinking this weekend. I think a big part of why this mayor campaign started is to make sure that we don't end up with a government similar to the one that existed previously, where effectively Max got his way for everything he wanted, and things that were only self-serving. The solution that I came up with is as follows. The mayor's cabinet is to support the people at all times. That means reviewing legislation, making sure, Department of Commerce is running, et cetera, et cetera. Opinions are kind of coming in. But that remains among us. And whatever is decided is a uniformed kind of, this is what our cabinet is going to be doing. But when it comes to actual like say as to what legislation passes or not, it is counterintuitive for there to be any internal voting. I'm going to use Michael here as an example. Michael having a voting say on gun reform doesn't make any sense. Why? Because he's an artist, and among other things, but he's not an expert in that space. And we'd be effectively creating console 2.0 redux. So instead, I came up with a solution. Every 30 days, voting is going to take place, in which individuals can run for select men and women. The top 3 votes become select men or women. The next 3 become deputy select men and women. 3 of their votes, of the 6 that are present at the time of a vote, will have 3 votes out of a total of 5, 2 which will come from the mayor's office. This will allow people, the police department, different circles, to put forward a selectman, vote for them, and that person effectively being their representative in conversations about legislation and as the person that they vote through. That way, we're not doing like 5 votes a week on legislation and da-da-da-da-da. It can literally be, we're voting on this day at this time. I show up, Kit shows up, one of us shows up to place our votes on it. They can show up, place their votes on it, or if there needs to be discussion, they can be representative of that. Any questions about that or any concerns around it? I think it's a cool idea, and I think it's very pro-democracy.
Anybody in any position, police officer, doctor, EMS, are allowed to run for this?
Yes.
Okay.
The exception would probably be felons, given that would probably get us kicked out of office.
Yes. It sounds like the Civilian Oversight Board, if I had to say, which I was a part of.
Which I think is because it's going to be an iterative process, and it'll start as the selectmen being an opinion, and eventually once that is starting to look good and we can prove the system, they'll actually we'll move legislation to the next thing, which is got the voting power, and maybe we empower them with what the Civilian Oversight Committee. So in other words, I want to be very iterative with the process so we don't come out with something so complex it ends up failing.
All right.
So Abby, you wanted to say something?
Go ahead. Abby,
I just had a general question: what is the ease of access to voting ballots and creating? Is that something that's requested of the federal government, or is that something as the mayor
pretty
you have
much.
the ability to? Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I don't. There's 2 things, right? One is I think in the past, Crane had to wake up and do it, which sucks.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm okay, I only want to use a voting thing for every 30 days. But then the second is people just frankly don't vote. And it's going to be shit if it just because no one votes, that legislation's going to be just weird, right? And instead leaning on these representatives makes it so we can get in a room, be like, who's vote? Okay, 15-minute discussion. What are the votes, right? And anything that requires more than 15 minutes, we got all this time in the city to discuss upcoming legislation and what do you think of this? This got to change. Da, 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 da. But when it comes time to vote, it can happen right then and there.
Got it. And my next question is for Archie Archer, who's now on the phone.
Hey, sorry, that was Paps. He's ready to go for you today after this meeting.
Okay, easy. I want to talk to Eve before that.
Yeah, no, but, take your time with it. He said he just needs to do a pre-interview with you about it, and then we'll do the thing.
Okay.
What's up, Abby?
Archie, you were a member of the Civilian Oversight Board last time. In your opinion, why did it fizzle out and what went wrong?
Because of the person that was in charge, the head of bar. Both of them. There was a curse on that position with Moulton and Ron. They didn't do anything for it.
Okay, so there was the council, but who constituted the Civilian Oversight Board?
That was between the head of bar and Chief Justice Alan Crane.
And yourself?
One of them being part of it, yes.
So, was it just a name for 4 people on the council, or was it its own separate think tank body in any regard? Because it sounds like it was named something and then hijacked by not civilians.
In a way, yes. It was kind of taken over by at a time the majority of the board was ex-police officers, and people didn't like it. Which, yeah, I agree with. Essentially, this board came from the head of bar being it was Molten's baby, to look into police misdoings and investigate them. That was the entire purpose of the board. But they wanted to expand it to more of kind of almost what like Nino is talking about with these 6 people. But that never even got to be the case because they only met once at Murphy Braun's house. We should repurpose it completely to be exactly what he's talking about.
Did you, Archie Archer, have voting power at all?
Well, if we did have a case, it would have came down to the 4 of us having a vote. Correct.
So you would have together made one vote out of the 4 of you to the council.
Yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm. And then the tiebreaker vote, of course, was the head of bar.
I think that issue right there might have been a root cause to some of the lack of motivation, because number one, it sounds like there was 1 civilian on the civilian oversight board. It was you, and you didn't really have. And not only were you elected by the people, the majority vote,
140.
You really
votes.
didn't have your own vote of your own. So it was like I don't want to use a bad word, but it was like a handicap.
Yeah, essentially.
So, Mr. Chavez, that's kind of what I'm thinking. We should use those past problems to create new solutions.
That's a really good idea. I think one thing that I'm being very hesitant on is I'm making sure to kind of like, I think it's like we could wake up on Wednesday and that Constitution could completely, look, I'm going to say something crazy. We don't know yet whether or not the DOJ ends up as the new console.
I see. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean by this.
So,
yeah.
One thing is rather clear. There is no there's enough out there to know that the judges may be the new deciding on a whim, right? And so we may not even have the ability to have that. So I think I don't think we should deep dive too much, but keep it in the back of our mind until Wednesday. And then
Absolutely.
like sort of build things out. Like that's why I kind of want to focus on selectmen, the transparency, etc., and then we keep that line of sight. Like actually, if there was a way we could organize these sort of thoughts so that we don't lose sight of it, but it's like kind of noted to like circle back on, you know what I mean? Like, are we ready to tackle this next thing? Because I think, to be more direct with that, is I think Angel's new office is in charge of looking over police corruption or problems. So we may not even need, it may be out of our jurisdiction, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, touch base on time frame. You mentioned. I essentially, so the poll submissions for mayor close on the 14th, which is something. Usually, and this is how I think it would work. I kind of spoke with Judge Angel to feel it out, and she said probably, because when she announced it like she did, the voting will probably start same day of, go for through that whole week. So just keep in mind that it could start as soon as the 14th, as it has always in the past.
It probably will.
Submissions close, right?
Oh shit!
That
Someone
means...
just applied to. I wouldn't. Let's wait till Wednesday to like. I don't want to do any speculative.
No, I know, no speculation, but it would go through that week. I'm just saying, that's the kind of time we're looking at already.
Let's wait till Wednesday because we're gonna have the answer in 2 days.
Correct.
Just so okay. Anything else? Because I wanna break here. Talk to Eve real quick.
Slick Rick needs to have a discussion with you quickly.
Okay.
Regarding the things that happened on the 3rd, because many warrants went out. Something that you need to discuss with him when you have time. And I think some lifers reached out to you about having
that's
a meeting
right.
2 hours after storm.
Yes. Okay. Then
Which
we
would be in
definitely
an
got to go.
hour.
Okay.
Okay, so talk to Eve now. We'll
you
get
want me
that
to come
going.
with?
I know I got to talk to Eve directly.
Yeah, talk to Eve. We'll get that
All right.
going. Then we'll talk to Paps.
Okay. Easy.
Perhaps, all right.
Like I said, biggest
when
thing
you
for
do
today.
the lifer stuff, let me know what's up.
Biggest thing. I think it's time that we less planning and more. We got to just get the
Just
voice
do it.
out there. You know what I mean?
Things that
I
move the
think
needle.
that's
I hear
yep,
it. Yeah.
100%. You see any patches of folks you're looking for something to do, like whether they're fishermen or whoever, like and not like Eve said, jump down their throat, but just kind of like bring it up naturally.
I would encourage, if you guys have time, go and do civ jobs and like talk to the people who are solo as well. Their votes matter a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be doing
Yes.
news. I think a lot this week.
We don't
Alright,
want to
well,
be
you
the
can-
suits.
If you
That's the
can get
scariest
Archibald
thing we
and
can do.
the information on the signs, posting the colored
I will.
signs.
Yeah, we're gonna. I want to start posting those signs. That's important.
All right.
I promise.
Yeah. Hi.
All right.